A few years back, I started on a health and fitness journey, and it was spurred on by my skincare journey, which I started when I was 62 and a half. When I started this channel, this was the whole point behind the channel. I was 62 and a half. I looked terrible. My face was a wreck. I had never done skincare. I was just the worst with skincare. So I was 62 and a half, and I thought, I look terrible. I wonder if I can fix it without surgery or Botox or fillers or all that stuff, just using at-home products and devices. And long story short, we have found out on this channel that you can go a long way to fixing your skin just by giving it what it needs. I was 62 and a half then. I'm 68 now. Once I kind of decided that you can do so much with your skin just with nourishing it and taking care of it, I started thinking, well, if you can do that with the skin on your face, what can you do with the rest of your body if you just start giving it good stuff that it needs? And that spurred me on to a health and fitness journey. If you're new here, welcome in. I'm Kimberly. This is Pretty Over 50, where we talk everything beauty, fitness, and lifestyle for the over 50 and over 60 woman. I hope you'll consider subscribing while you're here and make sure you click that notification bell so you don't miss any of my upcoming videos. And if you want all the good stuff, you might want to sign up for my Sunday morning email newsletter. The link is in the description box down below. Every Sunday morning, I send out a very short, very sweet, very popular email newsletter. It's the most popular thing about my channel, and I feature all the cool things I found throughout the week, whether it's a good recipe or a great sale or a good piece of information that I want to share with you. Anything we'd be talking about if you and I were out having coffee goes in the Sunday morning email newsletter. Women grab their coffee on Sunday morning, read the Sunday morning email newsletter, watch the Sunday morning video. It's a whole thing, and I'd love to have you join us. Super easy to sign up. Link is in the description box down below. Super free, super fun. I think you're going to love it. My skincare journey was, in my opinion, such a success. So you can see 62 and a half. I am 68 now. Early morning here, no makeup on. I do have some lip gloss on. I do feel like my skincare journey was, in my opinion, a success. I don't look like a 20-year-old. I don't look like a 30-year-old, but I think that for my age, I look healthy and fit and vibrant. So the skincare journey led me to think about what can I do with the rest of my body. And what I have done over these last few years is I have added a little bit at a time, like little increments. I'll add this new product, or I'll add this new routine, or I'll add this new thing. So that now my life is pretty much a very, very healthy environment for my body, for my well-being, for my peace of mind, all of that. Am I perfect with it? No, I'm not perfect with it. But Connie Rutledge, who is a functional nutritionist that helped me get my diet on track, she said 80%, use the 80% rule. 80% of the time, if you're doing all the right things, you're good. And then the 20% of the time you can go to a party or you can go out to lunch with friends and just have fun and enjoy whatever it is you want to indulge in. So that's pretty much what I do now. What I'm sharing today in this video are some little changes that I have made over time that really have contributed to my good health. They're little things, they're things you can do at home, they can add it in over time. I haven't done anything, boom, all at once. It's all been a very slow, very comfortable progression. So I hope you enjoy these little tips today. You might find something that you want to include into your lifestyle. The first thing I want to share today is blue light blocking glasses. Do I look like a YouTube fitness influencer right now? I know. So many people are wearing these glasses. If you're not familiar with blue light blocking glasses, I'll share with you just a little bit of information, but I do encourage you to go look at some videos on YouTube or do some research on your own so you can find out more of the science behind blue light blocking glasses. Most of our tech is based on blue light. That means your phone, your computer, your screens that you may watch in the evenings, those all emit blue light. Blue light tells your body to stay awake. And it is a common cause for people who watch a screen before going to bed and then can't drop down into that sleep zone because their body has not produced the melatonin from that blue light, signaling that they're still like it's up and it's daytime. Melatonin is your body's natural response to getting ready for bed. It makes us sleepy, it relaxes us, and if we're watching blue screens, that melatonin production is really diminished or doesn't happen at all. Hence the blue light blocking glasses. I have two pairs to share today. These are kind of a yellow tint. These are more of a red tint. Why are these important? Well, there's a lot of studies that really show it's very, very unhealthful and absolutely kind of agitating to be staring at blue lit screens all day long. We do it with our phones, we do it with our computers, we do it at night when we're watching TV. Now, I don't ever watch TV, and I haven't watched TV for probably almost 25 years, but I do watch YouTube videos in the evening, sometimes before I go to bed. When I do, I make sure that I'm wearing one of my blue light glasses or I have a filter on my screen. Here's the dilemma with blue light glasses, and one of the things that I'm going to encourage you to do a little bit of research on, and that is what brand should you buy? There's so many out there, and there's tons of them on Amazon for super, super cheap. And you want to ask yourself, are those really worth it? I did research before I bought mine and made the decision not to buy the less expensive glasses on Amazon. I just didn't feel comfortable that they were going to be the quality I needed or do what I wanted them to do. So I went ahead and bought several different brands of blue light glasses and tried and tested them out. Do I have one that I could absolutely recommend? Not really, because I don't know that I'm qualified to say this particular brand is really good or this particular brand is really good. What I can do is share with you the brand that I use frequently, and I can tell you how I feel when I use them. So these are Block blue light glasses, and I've been really happy with them. I actually saw this brand from a doctor on Instagram, and I know that sounds so silly, but I really do believe in her, and I like what she has to say, and she's done a lot of research. She wears these kind of glasses. I went ahead and gave them a try, and I really do like them. Here's something freaky and weird that I noticed the first time that I put on blue light blocking glasses in the evening when I was watching YouTube, and that was an immediate sense of relief and calmness. The minute I put these on and stared at the screen, my body just went, it was really something I noticed. Now, it wasn't huge. In other words, I'm very, very attuned to how my body is feeling, but I definitely felt a sense of relaxation when I put these on my face. What it made me realize is how agitating, subtly agitating, so much of what we do during the day is. If we're constantly being bombarded with blue light from our phones, from our screens, from overhead lights that are just awful, I don't think that we really truly realize how that agitation just builds on top of itself to the point that we're just walking around kind of like this from all the frequencies and all the lights that are bombarding us. So when I put on my blue light blocking glasses that first evening when I was watching YouTube, and I felt that deep sense of calm come over me, it really hit home how much we are exposed to during the day that probably isn't leading to good sleep and a calm demeanor. If you're not sure that blue light blocking glasses are something that you want to try right away, you can also get an app on your computer that will automatically dim the screen on your computer based on the time of day. It's an app called Flux, Flux, and I'll have it listed along with everything else in this video in the description box down below. What Flux does is that it asks you what time zone you're in, and it adjusts the brightness of your screen and tones down and blocks out that blue light as the day goes on. As you can see, I was up this morning at 5:30. The sun wasn't up yet, and my screen was still kind of dimmed out and near the red tones from it being so early. Flux is free. You just need to download it and install it on your computer, and it works in the background automatically based on the time of day. If you haven't used blue light blocking glasses, do some research. There's lots of information here on YouTube, and you might find out it's a good fit for you. I've been making my own mouthwash for quite a while now. I love the feeling of mouthwash, but I don't like the ingredients of what you can get in the store. So I make my own, and I've actually talked about it before on the channel if you missed it. This is a mixture that has been ongoing for me. I like the way it makes my mouth feel. It starts with distilled water. I use about 1.5 cups. Then I add some baking soda, generally about 1 to 2 tablespoons. But be careful if you use more than that because it won't dissolve. And then it just ends up being this clump at the bottom of the bottle. So maybe start with 1, and if you don't like the way the mouthwash feels, you might bump up a little bit from there. And then to that mixture, I add several drops, probably 10 to 12 to maybe as many as 20 drops of tea tree oil. This is an essential oil. And then for flavoring, I add peppermint. And I generally add probably about 15 drops, but you can use whatever works for you, if you like peppermint or you don't like peppermint. So that's the mouthwash I've been using. I really like it. The tea tree oil functions very well. You can look it up. I'm not going to go into it here, and make up your own concoction that is much more affordable and, in my opinion, much more healthful than we can get out in the marketplace. The other thing that I'm doing now is I was using baking soda to brush my teeth with, but I saw that the Health Ranger, Mike Adams, carries a toothpaste. This is a silver fresh, so it contains colloidal silver, fluoride-free toothpaste. And I thought I would go ahead and try it. And you know what? I like it, and I'm going to continue to use it. So what I do is I spray hydrogen peroxide on the bristles of my brush. This is not a hydrogen peroxide bottle. This is a Haielle bottle, a hair product that I use. But I use, I like to keep these spray pumps because they're super handy. So my hydrogen peroxide is in here. I spray that on the bristles of my brush. That's how I get my brush wet. And then I use this toothpaste. And I'm liking it. My dental health is actually really good, even though I'm older. And this combination has really been working. I always shower with scrubby gloves, and I have for years. One thing I've found with scrubby gloves is getting a cheap pair like those at the dollar store just doesn't pay off because they end up wearing out in just a few months. They get tatty and thin, and lose their elasticity. I bought this pair of scrubby gloves, and I think they were maybe around $7 or $8 2.5 years ago, and they are still really, really in good shape. So these are one of the ways that I keep the skin on my body exfoliated and smooth, and I just feel like my skin really gets a good workout during the shower. However, most people know about these, and most people have them. They're not a mystery. However, what is a little less common in the US are scrubby towels. I first learned about the scrubby towel 45 years ago when I was in Japan. My brother lives in Tokyo and has for close to 45 years now. Well, 45 because I was there 45 years ago. This is a long towel that is made of the same scrubby material as the gloves. And these are wonderful. And I absolutely love it. It's a staple in my life. What's cool about the towel is, first of all, you can get a lot more territory covered a lot quicker, and you can get your back, which is a tough thing. Unless you have someone come in the shower with you and scrub your back, you're not going to be able to get your back and exfoliate really well. And these do an awesome job. One thing I could almost guarantee you is if you started using this and using it on your back, you'll continue because it really feels good, and it's a great way to get the skin on your back exfoliated in a way that is not going to happen otherwise. These are super affordable. I believe the last set I bought, it was 3 in the package, super inexpensive. And one of these would last you a couple of years at least, if not more. So get a pack of 3 and give 2 to girlfriends as hostess gifts when you go over to visit them. They're really, really handy. And I think you're going to About 4 years ago, I was talking to Penny Kelly, and I brought up the topic of parasites. And I asked her, I said, are parasites even a thing in the US? Is it something we even need to think about? And her answer was, parasites are the #1 killer of humans on this planet. And I was like, what? What are you even talking about? I was so shocked at her answer because I was in my 60s and had never heard about parasites from any doctor I'd ever been encouraged to treat parasites by any doctor I've ever been to. It was like, I couldn't even believe that answer. Well, what I've come to learn in the last 4 years is not only are parasites a big deal in the US, even though, none of the professionals I've ever talked to shared it with me, but they are responsible for so many of the chronic health issues that we're experiencing in this country and countries around the world. I was doing some research on parasites, and I came across a video. You might have seen it. It was posted on Instagram. It's a little gross, so prepare yourself. But it was of one of those little cameras that they use during a colonoscopy, that goes up into the cavity, into the colon with a little camera, and you can see inside there. And the camera came on one of the cancer cysts in that colonoscopy, and as it really got close to that little cyst, you could see it was filled with parasites. And I thought, oh my gosh, this person thinks they have cancer, or maybe was told they had cancer, and what they have is a parasite infestation. Even Barbara O'Neill, and we all love Barbara O'Neill so much, she has really addressed the parasite issue and has said most humans have parasites in the US and third world countries and first world countries and everything in between. And if you have animals in the house, we're talking dogs or cats or goats or chickens or hamsters. If you have animals in the house, you absolutely have parasites. So when I heard that, I thought, I had been treating parasites over the last several years because of what I learned from Penny. And now I'm really, really treating them because I see that there are so many long-term health issues that are either a result of the body struggling because of parasites, or that is actually the parasite infestation and it's being called something else. If you have never done a parasite cleanse, what I'm going to talk about today is what I feel like is one of the easiest ways to do it. One thing I've learned about parasite cleanses is that it's a lot like making spaghetti. There's lots of ways to do it. You just have to find one that works for you. And the one I'm going to talk about is pretty simple. I've used several different forms of supplements or medications to treat parasites over the last 4 years. This is actually the one that I'm doing right now. It is from Dr. Clark, and here's my little parasite bucket because I'm on day 16, and this parasite cleanse is an 18-day cleanse. So I have my little bucket right here with my supplements that come in the cleanse, and this is from Dr. Clark right there. And you can get this right off of Amazon, which is where I get mine. Sometimes I buy it from Dr. Clark's website. Sometimes I buy it off of Amazon. This time it was Amazon. I'm going to give you a few tips and tricks that I have learned because I have done this particular cleanse many, many times now. So you know how you just learn a few things along the way? That's what I'm going to share with you. There are a few things to keep in mind, and I have done this cleanse over and over and over again. This time it was particularly rough. And I think it was rough because of what happened right before I got sick. You know, that video that YouTube picked out? There was talk that there was some critters in that situation that I ended up being sick and my dog got sick and the whole thing. So I am wondering if it was really rough for me this time because of that. Now, when you do this cleanse, here's the first tip. Don't stop. You've got to do it to the T all the way through, because parasites are very, very smart. They want to live on just like we do. And they have mechanisms by which they will multiply as soon as they determine a threat to their existence. So once you start with the parasite cleanse, don't stop, because they will notice that threat and start expelling. And some people call them little parasite babies. Some people call them, there's another name, a medical term, and I'm not remembering it, but it's the actual parasite of the parasite. So they'll expel more of themselves or more fertile ground for more parasites when they start seeing that there's a threat to their existence. That's why you need to make sure with the parasite cleanse is once you start, you go all the way through, because stopping in between or stopping in the middle is worse than not doing it at all. You're just kicking up much, much more infestation in your body. When you're doing a parasite cleanse, it's common to have something, I believe they call it herxing, and that is your body struggling with the die-off of the parasites. You can feel malaise, you can feel tired, you can feel irritable, you could feel upset tummy, you can just feel kind of funky and weird, and that is a very, very natural part, particularly if you've never done one before or if you're packed full of parasites. And I know that sounds disgusting, and I'm sorry about all this, but I really want you to listen to this because it's important for good health. However, once you get through it, it's amazing. Now, this particular cleanse, and I want to just share my experience with you so that you can keep an eye out if you choose to do this cleanse for things that may happen. What happened for me, because I feel like I had a really big exposure to some critters, is about 3 or 4 days into the cleanse, my stomach was like a beach ball. I mean, it was like a beach ball, and it was hard as a rock. It was so distended, and I just wasn't feeling good, so I just made sure that I took it easy. I laid down during the middle of the day. Now that I'm getting close to the end, I'm actually on day 16, my stomach is flat and everything's fine. So I knew, because I'm experienced with doing cleanses and I researched about them, that you can go through some funky days when you're doing a parasite cleanse. The important thing is that you don't stop, that you keep with the regimen. This particular regimen is really nice because it's all laid out. It's all laid out in a very, very clear manner. You do need to keep track of where you are in the process. This is the schedule that comes with your kit. And what I do, and I've done different things over the years to keep track of what day I'm on, because I can forget what day it is, let alone what day I'm on for my parasite cleanse. So I just put a little label up here, and every time I serve up what I'm going to be taking that day, I write what day I'm on now. So you can see I'm on day 16. I have 2 more days to go. This particular cleanse has 3 different elements. It has the green black walnut blend, and you also can get that in a tincture as opposed to the capsules. I'm using the tincture this time. I've used the capsules in the past. I just thought I would use the tincture to try it out. And then the other 2 elements are wormwood and cloves. And the nice thing about this little outline right here, it tells you exactly what to take every day, how many to take it. It tells you when to take it, the whole thing. So if you're looking for a very, very comprehensive, very effective cleanse that's easy to follow, this is the best that I have found. Now, this one does have a follow-up program down here. I won't go into that now, but you can get additional products that are kind of a maintenance program. Remember, you guys, I'm not a doctor. I've told you this before. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a nurse. This is not medical advice. I'm just sharing what I've learned about doing this cleanse. So this is the outline for exactly how to do it. And I like that it's super easy. I mean, I can follow it even when I'm screaming busy and my hair's on fire. I can follow it because it's laid out really, really well. If I were just starting with Parasite Management and had never ever done a cleanse before, I would do it differently than I did it when I first started. I would do a cleanse like this every quarter for a year. I would do it, take a couple months off, do it again, take a couple months off, do it again. Because I have heard so many stories over the past several years that I've been aware of the parasite issue, of people who just cannot get rid of the parasites in their body, because parasites, they want to survive. You know, this is our bodies are their environment. It's kind of like, you know, they want to live too. And so sometimes getting rid of them can take multiple treatments. I listened to one doctor who had not even known about the parasite thing while being a medical professional in the military. And she found out about it, and it took her months and months and months to clear her body of parasites. So it's not the kind of thing where you do it once and you're good for the rest of your life. I do maintenance now all the time and I'm thinking about, parasites or making sure that I don't encourage them in my body. I not only treat myself, but I treat my dog too, Lucy too. So she gets something called Panacur, which you can get off of Amazon, Panacur, that is for dogs. It's a little powder that you put on their food for 3 days in a row. And she gets that every other month. Now, if you own a dog or a cat and you're thinking about doing this, one thing I have found out is she can sniff it on her food during the second day. I mean, she downs it. If I mix it in with some good food, good little treat food or something, she'll eat it down the first day. The second day, I really got to spice up the treat factor of that food because she'll smell it in the food and avoid it. And so I've learned that second day and the third day, I've got to make it something that's irresistible for her, which will get her over that smelling something different in her food. She's got a nose like a dog because she's a dog. If you haven't dealt with parasites before, don't worry about it. We all got them. It's like, this is just part of being human. It's just unfortunate that it hasn't been discussed more openly within our communities because I think there's just a lot of ill health or people who just don't feel good or have chronic conditions because of parasites. That's my 2 cents on how to do a very easy parasite cleanse. And I don't mean short, I mean effective and easy to follow. And again, I'll have this listed in the description box down below. You can get this right off Amazon or you can go to Dr. Clark's website. You could just Google Dr. Clark Parasite Cleanse and you'll have lots of options on Google. I want to thank Penny Kelly for waking me up to the world of parasites. I can tell you that I feel so much better now than I did at the start of my cleanse. More energy, my stomach's flatter, I just feel a little bit snappier and zippier than I did at the beginning. So I'm grateful for this cleanse. And if you go for it, I'm behind you 100%. I hope you enjoyed these little helpful tips and tricks and found at least 1 or 2 that you'd like to start implementing into your life. If you enjoyed this, go ahead and give the video a thumbs up. You guys know it just tickles me when you take a few minutes out of your day to spend it with me. I appreciate that, and I appreciate you. Again, I'm Kimberly. This is Pretty Over 50, where we talk everything beauty, fitness, and lifestyle for the over 50 and over 60 woman. Make it a great day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye now.